Read about it. Well, now you get to see actual full color photographs live streaming from who apparently they're still using 1960s camcorders and photography technology from the 1960s, because I've watched about 4 short videos about the Chinese moonland, new Chinese spacesuit, so that they're not going to wear this to the moon, and the moonland just once. And I'll go through about 15 or 20 reasons why we didn't go to the moon, not in 1969. In fact, I have my doubts as to whether or not any spacecraft, the stratosphere, or much less gone through the thermosphere, which is, I think it was somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000 degrees. That's a fact. And once they get through the thermosphere, then I think they have the Van Allen radiation belt to deal with that as well. So, to be honest with you, as a jet mechanic, a licensed A&P jet mechanic with some semblance of knowledge of rocket engines and what is called thrust and or power, the pictures being sent back by the Chinese spacecraft, so the first thing that's noticeable when you look at the Chinese craft on the moon is that what small amount of video they show of the craft itself, I guess there's some sort of a robotic, there's no dust on the landing gear. Now, I'll tell you why there's no dust on the landing gear, but I'll also tell you why there should be dust on the landing gear. Okay, there should be dust on the landing gear because a rocket causing deceleration is going to kick up any loose matter underneath the landing craft itself. But here's why you don't see any dust. The first Apollo moon launch, where they went to the moon and the astronauts stepped off of the spacecraft on the moon, well, they forgot, they didn't forget anything. But what should have appeared on the discs that were about 20 inches in diameter, that have like some sort of gold foil on them. I don't know what the reason for that stuff is, but they should have had debris. Hello, Dennis Adam. They should have had debris on the pads, the landing pads. Now, anybody that's watched a lawn service maintenance man, I had a landscaping business in Florida, as well as an excavation business and a septic tank installation. Watch the landscaper blow dust in the street, is going to see that those, usually it's the Echo 680 power pack that they put on their back, that will blow a brick across a blacktop pavement from about 18 to 20 inches away. It'll keep a brick moving across the blacktop. So now that's only 680 cubic, is several thousand pounds. So if you were to take that Echo backpack blower and put it down into the ground, let's say you were at the beach. This is a perfect example. And you took the blower and just faced it face down. And let's say you were looking at it and you had your eyes open without a hat on and you just had a shirt, okay? In about 5 seconds, you're going to realize that you made a terrible mistake, because this little 680 cubic foot per minute backpack blower is going to blow enough sand around and create a vortex around your body to dump several ounces of sand on your person. But within 45 seconds, you're going to have a full layer of sand in your scalp, and you're going to have sand in your ears, in your inner ear where the fine sand goes, in your eyes, on your eyebrows, on your nose, on your shoulders, on your person, and on everything. everything within 10 feet of you in any directions. It was a white dust mixed in with the sand. It would turn you white in 10 or 15 seconds. You would look like a white blotch. I said, it's going to go on landing pads 6 or 8 feet away from the thruster itself, because the whole unit's only 15 feet wide, and the rocket is in the middle, yeah? Okay, so no dust was placed on July 20th, 1969. None. Zero. Now, the reason for that, first of all, it wasn't even rock. It was 1 1/8 inch of dust. So the lander in 1969 should have been 100% covered from the rock that ever came up with this theory. And that's because I'm a jet mechanic, okay? I know damn well why there was no dust on the landing gear. It's quite simple. For the same reason, when I was doing landscaping, I didn't stick my backpack blower into the dirt, sand 10 inches deep in 15 seconds. It would blow a hole in the sand about 15 inches in diameter and 10 inches deep. Here, 20 feet away, there's going to be sand. The fine sand particles are going to be 20 feet away. If I never did it in dust, I did it in leaf dust, I got to tell you, it makes a mess. So NASA never had a real reason why there was no dust on the pads. And I'm going to tell you why there was no dust on the pads for NASA. I'm going to clear up this issue 100%. Positive that why there was no dust on the Chinese moon landing pads or NASA landing pads. I'm going to tell you why. Because about 35 or 40 feet away were these very, 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 very expensive camera equipment and microphone systems set up to take pictures of the lander on the moon in Arizona. And if they would have created the dust from 7,000 or 8,000 pounds of thrust, they would have got on the cameras and the microphone systems that they later used to take video of the man stepping off the ladder. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm the only person with the very expensive camera gear and microphone systems and lighting and the lighting. That's all part of that. But it also would have gotten on the food that's provided by the caterers that catered the meals for in Arizona. So they couldn't put the dust there because dust would have went on the food. And everybody knows that no one likes to eat food with dirt on it. I mean, that's just a given. When it falls on the ground, we have a saying in Italian saying, you can do two things with it. You can, Filipinos say throw, which means throw it out, or you can, Italians, they kiss it to God and they eat it with the dirt on it, because we were a poor group of immigrants that came to America. We're not throwing out a good sandwich. You brush off the dirt, kiss it to God, and you eat it with the dirt on it. Whatever's on it, that's the way you eat it. When you're hungry, you don't throw out food. So NASA just said, well, we don't want to waste the food because we're on a budget. You know, NASA's on a budget, so they don't want to destroy their food budget, but they really don't want to have dirt on the lenses of the camera. So when you go to the people's videos that are on YouTube now with the China moon landings, you're going to see one of the main comments are there's no dust crater, and there's no dust on imagery of the dust being displaced by the rockets. That's because NASA screwed up the first time and didn't think about that part of the plan. Therefore, all the moon landings afterwards had to have no dust, and now the Chinese CGI has to have no dust on it also, even though it's very dusty in Arizona. That's the first thing you're going to read about all the comments on every video about China going to the moon. Now, there's another thing that you're going to read about that's a little bit more. What they did was they took the video of the moon landing in a panoramic view using a potato for the camera lens, because what they're sending back is like 1 megapixel video and photography. 1969 on July 20th. That has the same quality or thereabouts as the quality of the video that China sent back. Now, no one can understand this, and that's a big bone of contention for the Chinese moon landing in Arizona that happened on January 5th of 2019. Whenever it happened in tough trouble. I wasn't going to watch the Chinese moon landing that happened from a few days ago in 2019. I wasn't going to watch it because I don't believe any of that happy horse nonsense. Okay, I don't believe not even a word of it. So, but and then I decided, what should I do for a live stream this morning when I woke up at 5:30, and in my feed was a Chinese moon landing. And I said, let me see what this is about, because I personally don't think anybody could possibly believe it. And I mentioned this in a live stream a few days ago. So I said, let me see what then. I watched about 30 seconds of it. I shut it off and I read the comments. So the comments are getting progressively, oh my God, how can they try on anything, including the landing gear, the cameras, and the food caterers table. No dust, because can't make that much dust in an enclosed hangar. 8,000 pounds of thrust. So that's 1 and 2 are kind of like the same thing. Number 3 is the quality of why no one can understand it. With today's technology, any one of my cameras can take better video than what's on the moon now. And it's all electronics, so we don't have to worry about it's all electronics. Okay. So if they could get through the Van Allen belt, which destroys electronics, by the way, and if they could go through the stratosphere or the thermosphere, which is between $2,000 and $4,000, which melts metal, by the way, if they could do all of that and get to the moon in Arizona, then they could do these 1 megapixel pictures in at least 16 megapixel, which any camera has nowadays. Any camera does 16 megapixel, but there are cameras. NASA has a camera that does 200 megapixels back in the year 2005. It had a 200 megapixel camera. It would take a picture of dust at 15 feet away, and you could blow it up and see the uneven surface of uneven surface of a grain of sand at 15 feet away with a 200 megapixel camera. That's what NASA had 10 years ago. Okay, so now let's go to the third series of things that people mention. I'm not reading any of this stuff, although I should. The third thing that people mention is, how come it's in black and white? Do we not have the technology to send pictures back from the moon in color? It's pretty valid. And I don't know what the answer is. I refuse to listen to NASA anymore. I just won't do it. I won't. And I don't believe, if I feel like relaxing and I want a little comedy, I'll watch a NASA video, and I'll watch them try to explain something to you that's not explainable exactly, and they don't explain it. So that's the comedic part of NASA. Like, why was there a man in a scuba gear inside the capsule that was supposedly orbiting Earth? Why was there a man in scuba? Come up with why there are sometimes bubbles coming up from below the astronaut. That's a big one. That the bubble thing is a big one, but not as big as, how is it possible that an astronaut almost drowned in water in a spacesuit in space? And then they said that there's approximately a gallon of water in the backpack. Well, you would think they would have made that backpack with a one-way check valve, that the water can't get into the helmet. Okay, because and then they said, well, that's where the water came from. But what you don't understand is that the helmet clicks onto a hard collar. Well, and the hard collar doesn't secure itself around the astronaut's neck and hermetically seal itself. That's not how a helmet in a spacesuit works. Otherwise, they spacesuit on going like this, and it would be abrasive on their neck. No, the helmet goes down and the air circulates throughout the whole spacesuit. So if water somehow, even if the water from the backpack was pumped into the helmet under pressure, it would have went down through the hard collar, which has about an inch of space around the collar, and then it would have ended up in the astronaut's boots, not stayed in his helmet where the water was like up to his nose or wherever it was. He was drowning. He was drowning in space. This is like a sideshow. So they want to know why the camera was in black and white. And then the fourth thing is they want to know why the quality of the picture is not even 1960s technology. So if anybody cares to chime in on why any of this happened, or even if you still believe in this nonsense, it's nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. It's nonsense. Okay, so then I'll go to, I have it on my cell phone. This was just from memory. I'm going to go to that. I'm going to go to the comments on this particular video. Okay, so the name of the video is Chang's, C-H-A-N-G, and then postulation point, E is in Edward, -4, landing cam captures historic moon landing. Okay. So, so this fella, I can't mention, because of copyright, I can't mention the names of the people, but this fella makes a good point, which is my first point. So the moon has a solid, hard surface similar to concrete, question mark, because there's no dust. He's being facetious. Okay. Then there is apparently this of the spaceship. So I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure if the sun rotates around or on the wrong side of the spaceship. That was a comment from 3 days ago. Now it says somehow the lander that's from China has sunlight on it, and this fellow doesn't believe it could be coming from the sun, but it appears to be sunlight, but so it's coming from the other stars, which would make sense. But oh yeah, number 6 is there are no stars, none, 0. Now NASA, I mean China, or somebody tried to debunk the fact that there are no stars by showing a camera with various settings on it. And they said, well, at this setting, it will not show you the stars because of the aperture opening and the resolution and several other things. So, but if you put it at this setting, it would have showed you the stars. So basically, they went to the moon and put it on the setting that doesn't show you the stars to show you the ground and the landscape in Arizona. And then they never switched it over to show you the stars with the edge or crater rim of the moon. That's number 6. All right, so they never showed you stars. And the guy who explained why was because they set it on a high or low light setting, aperture opening, and ISO something of the film, of the so-called, quality of the video. They didn't show you the stars. They showed you the moon, but they didn't change the setting to show you the stars. They could have went like you. Matter of fact, oh, wait a minute. They even have cameras that do that stuff automatically. So they didn't show you any of that. Okay, so then we go to number 7, which I'm going through this, I'm flying by this. There was a guy that was talking Chinese. All this Chinese writing is an American LOL, lots of love. That's what. So he's bang on with his, whatever his, I can't read Chinese, but I get the point. Okay, so now, oh, the other thing is, why did they land inside a crater? That's the thing. Why didn't he knows this, but this a Chinese state secret for since the beginning of before they in the planning stages. Let's land inside a crater. So we don't have to deal with all the moon landing deniers that there's no landscape in the background. We can just say that the background ends at the rim of the crater, and after that it's space, because we're on the down low down here, and we're looking up to the top of the rim, which would always be space in any direction that we point the camera to. Above the rim is always going to be above the horizon. That's why you only see space, but no stars. Because even when the camera's pointing up above the horizon, the aperture opening and the other stuff that the camera would need to do to go to low light is not there. Doesn't exist. So that's another problem that the people have. So I see some comments here. I'm gonna go through these comments. Just Dennis Adam, good evening, Dennis Adam. Jim Schultz, good morning, Jim Schultz. Okay, Jim's going back to the football game. Yeah, any of my Sunday live streams are going to come in like garbage, because the people in the Philippines, family members, are all talking to their relatives all over the world using the internet, using up the bandwidth. All right, Dennis says the same thing. Okay, so this isn't going to be a very long live stream anyway, so it really doesn't matter. I have some other things that I'd like to get done today, and I'm going to get them done. And so let's go through some more comments, and then I know the sound is not going to clear up, and the quality. I spoke with Scott Del Fuego. I had to call him back 3 times this morning. Thanks, Dennis. Yeah, they're never going to send out a notification. After I did videos on Fukushima and the lies perpetrated from the people from Fukushima, and they shut off my live stream twice, they're never going to give me any bandwidth. Plus, like I said, it's Sunday, and all the men, women, and ladies that are trying to talk to their boyfriends and family members in other countries, could be Qatar or Iran or Iraq, wherever their family members are working, they're all using up the bandwidth. I have a video loading that's not loaded yet. I have my live stream on, so it's just not going to get good. But I need cold water. I need to get a bottle of cold water. Let's see if we have cold. I have water here. It's not cold, but I'll deal with it. All right, hold on. All righty. So now you might be wondering why I'm wearing my yellow vest. On a side note, it's just a matter of time before every country in the world goes out and gets a yellow vest and protests against this bullshit that they're handing you and telling you it's a tuna fish sandwich. So let's go back to the comments here. And I mean everywhere. I mean America. I mean Washington, D.C. I mean the offices of these lying pieces of human fecal tissue politicians. But we did have some good news yesterday or the day before. A member of, I think he was a pharmaceutical company representative or something of that nature. Either way, he took a standard vaccination and he was dead a few hours later because of the small percentage of people that are affected by vaccinations. So that was good news, because at least now, he died. That's bad news. Bad news. But when he died, it made people aware that these vaccinations can harm certain small percentage of the population, and that's good news. I don't want you to mistake the good news as the understanding that vaccinations cause death. I don't want you to think I was thinking that the the death of the pharmaceutical company guy or politician, whatever he was. I don't want you to think that I would think that his death was a good thing, because I don't think that. It was a terrible fucking tragedy. That's what it was. What do you think, Rabbi? Rabbi Drew Barker says it was a terrible fucking tragedy, too. He agrees. We're both in agreement that one of these people that make $200,000 or $300,000 a year to tell you falsehoods, half-truths, and subterfuge, one of those guys died. That's always a tragedy. It's a tragedy. A fucking tragedy, I tell you. So don't make a misstep there. So Johnny asks, Shalom, young Rabbi and Daisy May. I got notification. No worries. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what's up with their notification program. I gave up. Google and YouTube are just going to continue to destroy my view counts. It's okay, though. All right, so another guy says, this is the comments going back to China. Say it's 9:30, 10:32 now. I think I'm going to end this live stream at 11. I don't want to do this for 4 hours, and I need to get some things done here. Dennis, another fellow says this is fake. The moon is a paid actor, and another guy saying speechless. I'm speechless, and he has stars and thumbs ups and stuff like that. I don't know, some idiot that's not able to focus long enough to create a single sentence. So that's okay. Another fellow says, I thought it was the bottom of an aquarium. Anyway, the perfect place to plant rice. Now, here's a really intelligent comment about the Chinese moon landing. It says, and this makes sense from a physics or scientist perspective, they are controlling the lander through a relay satellite. That has to be if they're on the far side of the moon. The latency would be more than 1.3 seconds without a relay satellite, but even more if they have to use a relay satellite. Now, his point is that if the time they send a command or receive video image of the spaceship landing, I think his point is that the relays, they wouldn't be able to relay information to change the thrust in the rocket engine. But that I have to disagree with that from a scientific point of view. If they had the technology to get from China to Arizona to make the video itself, I'm sure the lander has a module in the lander to adjust for thrust by sending a sonar beep down to the ground, and the sonar beep will come back up and tell the computer that we're 100 feet away. I'm sure there's an adjustment, but his 1.3 second latency time lag, it makes sense, but he doesn't give a reference point. That's what's so screwed up about these people on YouTube. They don't give the owner of the video. He's supposed to understand what you mean. But from a technical point of view, yeah, but from a technical point of view, they have to have sonar on the ship sending down, multiple sonars, sending down a signal. One is going to give you the attitude of the craft. So to adjust, the sound has to get from, the video has to get from China to Arizona, where they make the best moon landing videos. That's none of that is of anybody's concern, because it's all taken care of automatically. That's right, Anthony. Now, Anthony is a member of my Patreon community. And Anthony saying that 5 years ago today I was at the Golden Prince Hotel, which is true, in Cebu, and it had to be one of the worst fucking experiences I ever had in my life in a hotel. Every person there, well, first of all they robbed me for 2,500 pesos, 100%. You couldn't get into the hotel without leaving a 2,500 peso deposit. And 2 days later, when I checked out, I'd lost my deposit slip, and they told me I didn't give them any deposit. And I said, well, you told me I can't get into the hotel without a 20. That was besides my credit card. They told me I couldn't get into the hotel without a 2,500 peso deposit. Even I paid them, I gave them my credit card number. They weren't going to bill me on the credit card till I left. Either way, 2,500 peso deposit was mandatory. So they fucking robbed me, the Golden Prince Hotel. They fucking straight up and down robbed me. I lost my receipt. They told me I never gave them the money. I'm at the hotel desk, because this would be tomorrow, 5 years ago tomorrow. I'm fighting with the people at the desk. You wouldn't let me in without a cash deposit. And now you're telling me I didn't give you a cash deposit, but you don't let people in without a cash deposit. And their excuse was, maybe we forgot to take it. So I said, there's the cameras up there on the ceiling. Look at the cameras and show me that the videotape from 48 hours ago that I didn't give you a deposit. So the Golden Prince, another fucking thieving hotel accommodation in the Philippines. And then when I got upstairs, this was not 5 years ago today, but 5 years ago in a few days, I'm in my room and some guy is pounding on the fucking door, beating on the fucking door. And I'm going, I was like getting ready to take a nap in the afternoon because I had jet lag. And he was looking for somebody, but the hotel management told I was on the 7th floor because I wanted to view. The hotel management said he was in whatever room I was in, 7G, let's say. So 7G, and this guy's I hear him pounding on other doors, like somebody's like some kind of problem. And you could hear it like when I'm half asleep. And when he gets to my door, what the fuck has been told me that he's in your room or she's in your room? I don't even remember. He left. But the management in the hotel told him that my room, that room, maybe this is the 7th floor. That sucked. Thanks for bringing that up. I got my adrenaline rush for the day. Thank you, Anthony. Anthony makes great videos about Chicago. So if there's any world-class travelers that want to know about Chicago, I would suggest that you go to Anthony's channel. He's a bit of an historian. Sometimes he finds some really good stuff, and he posts videos of, a few weeks ago, he found a lot of buttons, some of them national buttons for president's elections, some of them mayor's elections, some of them from the world, I guess. Some guy collected buttons, and Anthony is the manager. So if you collect buttons, let's say, and you're a button collector, and you know of a button that you want or you like, a particular, I don't know, like he had, I think it was a Walter Mondau badge, a button, regular buttons that you clip on your shirt. There was these are real buttons though. They're real metal with a real safety pin in the back. Nothing you could get today anymore in today's world. He's got a collection of buttons, Batman, Iron Man, presidential, mayor. Anthony has that. He has a collection of Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin also, pictures and memorabilia. So if you're like a memorabilia buff and you want to offer him a reasonable amount of money for some part of his collection, or ask him if he has what you want, that he has what you want and it's for sale, don't insult the guy by offering him. Like I had the original Scarface poster with Al Pacino over my desk, I don't know, 15 years, 10 years. Whenever Scarface came out, I got the original poster. It was in an 8.5 by 14-inch picture frame with a glass picture frame on, glass face. and I wanted to sell it at my flea market. And picture frame cost $4 or $5, $6. Nice picture frame. And then there's Al Pacino. It was assigned for me 25 cents for it. So I just took, I would pick it up and say, you want this for 25 cents? I tell you what, give me $50 for it. And they would say, oh, it's only worth, I'll give you $1 for it. So I took it and put it in with the stuff I'm not selling. I'm not going to have that conversation twice. I already grabbed people by the lapel and escorted them off the property on more than one occasion for insulting me like that. So I figured the best thing to do would be to just, if they're going to be insulting, I'll just take that piece and put it with the stuff I'm not going to sell. Did go to New York, and I do have a video of a girl buying it. She was looking for that picture, that frame, that autograph thing for a birthday present for her brother. I have a video of her buying it. I think it was $20. It wasn't less than $20. I might have wanted $25 for it, knowing that I'm never going to get $50, and it was worth $100. So don't insult Anthony if you see a button or something in one of his collections. He took the time to save it, store it, preserve it, document it, and you know, knows where it is. His time is worth money. Don't insult him. So he's got a collection of memorabilia from Chicago and other places. The Rat Pack, I think they call it. Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Jerry Lewis. He's got all of their pictures and glasses and the stirrers with the little pink flamingos on it from the Pink Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas, that kind of stuff. I don't know if he has a Pink Flamingo stirrer, but he's got that kind of stuff. So anyway, we have 16 minutes, and I'm ending this live stream. Daisy, would you bring me cold water, please? So I don't even know if anybody's watching this live stream anymore. People saying 8 people. Okay. So yeah, this is going to be a quickie. Right? That was nice. Oh, just leave that on here, right? Okay, so let me go back. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find another video. I'm going to keep reading comments about China. Nobody else has anything they want to say. You have 15 minutes to say something if you want to say something. Lagging. One thing I could tell you, if it's lagging in time, when the video uploads, come back and watch it a day from now or 2 days after the video is posted, it does something called rendering, and YouTube's computers fix the image into a high resolution optics. Okay. Why are they using AliExpress cameras? Bad quality, fake. All done in a studio in Roswell. Can't wait for more pictures and videos. Where's the clouds of dust from the thrust landing engines? Okay, so some people believe it. Good for China. America needed a competitive kick in the pants to get off the sidelines. And then another man says, China, the masters in faking everything on this planet. Now this. Holy hell, how dumb are the people? And then some other guy says, finally, man just got to the moon for real. Awesome achievement. That guy, how could people believe this? Anyway, another man says, hard on. All that technology used to go to the moon, and they couldn't use a colored camera? Question mark. Another fellow says, fake. Real Chinese people would have sent that lander up there with 1 million cameras pointed in every direction. Another guy just says, fake. And then another guy speaks Chinese. He has the words H-O space ho, and then L-I, Holai, and he has the last name as fuck, F-U-K. Holy fuck. That's Chinese for what the fuck. Where's all the dust? And then another guy said it's made in China. No, it's made in Arizona, but all right. So NASA says now says they're going to land on the dark side of the sun. Don't laugh. They're going to land at night. Then this one says, what did they expect to find? It looks like 1969. Another man says, must be using the same studio that the United States used for their moon landing. Nobody believes this crap. Anthony, you're welcome. Also Anthony has a channel. Besides, he does videos about Chicago. Now, I only drove through Chicago once. It was right after New Year's, probably 1991, pretty sure. And it was a blizzard condition in Traverse City, Michigan when I left. And I thought it would be interesting. I was getting out of there before I got snowed in for the winter. I had an old 1970 van. But I thought it would be interesting to go to Chicago. So I drove to Chicago. And by the time I got to Chicago, it was 26 degrees below zero. And I don't remember if I stopped for gas before or in or after Chicago. And I looked around, and I don't even remember going into the city. I for some reason, I remember looking at some buildings from across the body of water a long time ago, and it was really cold and I was really tired. So I know I never stopped to get pizza, or somebody said, when you go to Chicago, go get some Chicago deep dish pizza. Well, I don't think I did that. I don't remember, but I don't think I did it. Chicago deep dish pizza. That brings back some memories. I might have looked for that, but I don't remember. I don't remember eating any. If Chicago makes a special deep dish pizza, that's what I know about Chicago. But Anthony's an expert. Okay, and he has videos of where they made the movie Ghostbusters and what it looks like now, and other Chicago movies that were made. He goes to the outside of the building and shows you now that it's just an old rundown building or a building that's still working. So let's see. I'm going to go back to reading some more comments to this video, different video. I'm not going to put the links in the description box because nothing changes from one video comments to the other. So this one is called China lands on all capitals far, all capitals side of the moon. Alien-based photos. Oh, alien-based photos imminent. They're coming. The alien-based photos. And that, because of that bullshit title, in 6 days, he's got 1.5. They do clickbait. They don't actually do any real. All right, so we'll start off. Trillions spent, but always a 1 megapixel camera. That's what I said. That's in my title. John Boone, hi to all. John Boone, I saw on Facebook this morning at 5:30 that you got bit by some fucking dog. Is that correct? They said it was an African that bit you? Jeez, what city were you in when this happened? Where and are you okay? This fellow John Boone, he makes the videos for YouTube also. He's got I saw he got bit. It said I was 5:30 this morning. It was a little chilly. I was sitting outside. It was damn near down to 75 degrees. I was shaking like a leaf. Just kidding. But I read that he got bit, and on his hand is all monkeyed up, and he got a bite on his head. So it was you're in a hot tub, soaking in a hot tub. So some sort of animal bit him, and Daisy said it was an African dog. How do you know the difference between an African dog and a German Shepherd? I mean, I don't understand the difference there. Apparently, Daisy communicated with him, and he got bit. A what?
Me and Princess are not.
Daisy was communicating with John Boone's woman, Princess Anne Nude. Princess Anne Nude. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get there. All right, so if you're in a hot tub, don't bother texting back. And I'm going to end this live stream in 6 minutes, John Boonbean. So if you want to say something, say it. But in 6 minutes at exactly 11 o'clock, I'm ending the live stream. All right, so this is just a clickbait title. I want to see a photo of China placing the Walmart flag on the moon. Nobody believes it on this video either. Not a single person yet believes HD camera on a rover and giving people a live feed stream, or at least a little video of activities being done by the rovers. We have live feed 24/7 from Earth, of the Earth from ISIS. Why doesn't take a conspiracy nut job to ponder upon such simple thought? He don't believe it either. Another person, why are these images in black and white and low resolution? It's 2019. Couldn't we use a better camera? Space might be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Another comment. Here's another history lesson. Semicolon. Nobody has been to the moon. Another comment. Nothing irks me more than putting up dialogue that needs to be read and not given enough time to read it. Okay, so oh boy, maybe one day, John. Don't worry about it. Just go enjoy your hot tub, and like NASA said, then it means it's a lie. If NASA says it's a lie, it means it's true. All right, so okay, so we got another guy. There was almost a week between the landing and the world getting info about this event. Also, there was supposed to be a live stream, but they canceled that on request of the governments. So I have 5 people here watching here. I'm going to say goodbye. That's sad to hear, John. I hear that all the time. That's why I can't say what I want to say. Yeah, that sucks, John. I would take care of it a completely different way. And you might read about it, but it would be taken care of differently. All right, so everybody, it's 9:59. It says there's 5 people watching. They've the bandwidth here is just terrible. It's good to hear that you're okay now. I'm going to say goodbye, and maybe well, you don't want to go much further than where you went. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Daisy, come on over here and say goodbye, please.
Yeah, goodbye.
Daisy said goodbye. This is Michael Fazio, and
It's me,
in the Philippines,
baby.
humping. I'm not sure you know what I mean, John. What I mean might be completely different than everybody else. Another 30 seconds, I'm going to push that button. And here we go. Bye-bye, Dennis. Bye-bye, John Moonbeam. Dennis, if you